Hello viewers and welcome to the latest Huddle. Tim Pool here, editor of Gambling Insider, and I'm with Amy Howe, CEO of FanDuel. Amy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Fun to be here.
We just saw a wonderful keynote presentation you did with Jason Robbins at G2E, and just wanted to say really enjoyed that as a member of the audience.
It was fun. It's second year in a row doing it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that later on, but to start off with quite a broad question, how do you reflect on, I think it's coming up to 3 years as CEO at FanDuel?
Yeah, so 2 years officially as CEO and almost 3 years with the company. Oh my gosh, I would say, if I were to characterize it in a few words, I would say exciting, exhausting, and honestly probably one of the greatest privileges of my life. It has been so fun to be at the helm of, the largest online gaming company in America right now, in an industry that is changing so quickly every single day. It's just been remarkable to think about what we've done. We're coming up on, we're entering the 6th year since the repeal of PASS, but so to think that we've established a leading position in sports betting. We've drastically improved our offering in iGaming over the last couple of years. We launched FanDuel TV. We are the first company to integrate racing into our sportsbook product. So we've done some really phenomenal things on the business side, but I'm equally proud of what we're doing on areas like diversity, equity, inclusion, right? And being able to use, our and my platform to do great things for women and all, diverse employees. And also what we're doing on responsible gaming, right? We talk about the fact, even though we're 5 years in, we're still in the pretty early innings compared to some of the more mature markets. And so as we look to a UK and Ireland and Australia, I think we have a real opportunity to kind of build this industry in the right way and perhaps a different way that avoid some of the outcomes that you're seeing outside the US. So.
Yeah, I know we've talked before about your career and the many kind of fields you've been in. Is gaming your favorite?
It is. I will say, when people ask me, are you enjoying this? I will say, hands down, this is by far the most rewarding and exciting chapter of my professional career. And in some ways, I feel like I've been training for this my whole life. What I did as a partner at McKinsey, right? It kind of teaches you to solve very complex, abstract problems that you've never solved before, which is exactly what we do every single day. But also having run a big technology company at Ticketmaster, there's just a lot of pattern recognition. But now to come into an industry that is growing so quickly and changing and evolving before our eyes, and to have an opportunity to shape that and kind of be part of that history book and co-authoring it is really fun. It is by far my favorite chapter, and it's not over yet.
Absolutely. Plenty to come, plenty to discuss about the industry right now. But earlier this week, you won the American Executive of the Year award at the Global Gaming Awards Las Vegas, and you were the first person to do it for the second time at all, but second year in a row as well. Again, congratulations from us, and just maybe another note on how you reflect on how you've been able to really achieve that, I guess, so early after entering the industry.
Well, thank you. Listen, you guys have been terrific. And I will say, I said this last year, but I was not an insider in the industry when I came into FanDuel. And one of the things that really struck me is the receptivity that I got from everybody, right? From competitors and partners and suppliers. We work with, obviously, the biggest leagues and the media partners. And so to have an organization embrace you like that is really remarkable. Candidly, though, the award is really a reflection of my team and everybody that stands behind me. It was the single biggest reason that I came to FanDuel. I always say life is too short to work with people that you don't like, trust, and respect. And I found that in FanDuel. And now to have the opportunity to continue to shape and strengthen that team, and importantly, the culture, which is so strong and it really threads through everything we do at FanDuel, is great. But I really appreciate the acknowledgement. It's an honor.
You've previously spoken to us about increasing your share of the iCasino market, online casino, and that's something that came up in your keynote as well. How do you reflect on the progress so far in the area? Yeah,
it's something I'm really proud of. It's interesting, when I first came into the organization, our primary strategy with iGaming was really cross-selling. We obviously had a huge sports betting business, and the legacy and the DNA of FanDuel is very much routed in sports. So we had fortunately we had a product that was integrated. Getting a single account and wallet is not easy. So we had all of that infrastructure. but we weren't really investing in going after kind of the core casino customer. And so there's a few things we did. One is we brought the best team we could find. There was a gentleman who came over from PokerStars. We talk about the Flutter Edge, right, being part of a global Flutter organization. We brought a gentleman named Asaf over from PokerStars. There's a woman, Danielle Phillips, who is a brilliant marketer, came over from Paddy Power Betfair. So we got the right team in place. We've made tremendous strides both in the technology platform and in really improving the product. And we professionalized the marketing, right? FanDuel Casino didn't really resonate a few years ago with the consumer who goes to, a Caesars or a Wynn, a brick and mortar casino. And so that's really where you're seeing the momentum. We just closed August out with the highest share we've ever had. So great momentum, but we're not done yet.
Yeah. A question I'm particularly excited to ask you, given you're right at the epicenter of this industry. Looking at sports betting as a whole and online, Fanatics, newish entrants, although it's been much anticipated. Same with ESPN Bet. You've got names like DraftKings, BetMGM, and Caesars. What is your take on how the market is changing and progressing at the moment?
Yeah, listen, we're 5 going on 6 years in, so I think it's very much to be expected that you're going to see new competitors entering the market. There's a lot of well-capitalized players like a Fanatics and ESPN that are coming on the scene. We have respect for both of those players, and I think I don't know exactly how those are going to play out, but I think what we do know in the end, or what we believe very strongly, is a few things will matter. One is having a scale position, right? In any e-commerce industry, being a number 1, 2, or 3 player is important because just the economics of having to acquire and retain customers is not trivial. But 2, having a superior product and an overall proposition, right? That product and overall marketing proposition, getting that right is critical, and it's not easy. It goes back to the scale position. If you have better economics, you're able to reinvest back into better innovation, better marketing, and that kind of fuels what we call our flywheel. So we'll see who prevails in the end. We feel very good about, we've got a good head start 5 years in, but we'll see how it plays out. But all due respect to a lot of the competitors on the field, I think at the end it's a great thing. It's good for consumers. It forces all of us to up our game.
Mm-hmm. On that note, at the very top of the industry, is there a sense of cooperation between yourself and someone like a Jason Robbins, who you've just done your G2E keynote with, and you've done that 2 years in a row with, and there's a quite an obvious sort of sense of camaraderie, good chemistry between you guys on the stage in terms of some good laughs and some really informative talks. Is it that at the very top, and especially when I guess maybe kind of the lobbying piece is there as well, is there that cooperation between the very top players in the field?
Yeah, very much so. A lot of it goes back to, it predates me, but it goes back to the very early daily fantasy sports days when Jason Robbins and at the time Matt King and lots of folks that are currently on my management team, Christian and Mike and Andy, were all working together to open up the market and to legalize it, right? And it was not easy, right? I mean, I've heard lots of stories of how challenging it was in the ups and downs of the DFS days. So that camaraderie goes back a really long time. And I think we have as leaders and as companies, we have a deep mutual respect and admiration for what we're doing. I mean, Jason said it on the stage. What we're doing is not easy, right? I mean, I think we both feel very fortunate that we've been able to secure well over 70 at times 80% share of the market as the top 2 players. But it's not easy to do that, and so I think there's a real understanding and an admiration for what we're both going through. So, but it's always fun and Contessa's fantastic she knows how to bring out the best in everyone.
For sure. In terms of upcoming goals and targets and things like that, we've got a busy NFL season. We've got a lot going on in the sports calendar. What can we expect, I guess, as we close out 2023 at FanDuel?
Yeah, there's a bit of a short term and a long term, right? This year is a pivotal year. We're in the most important time of the year. 5 weeks into the NFL, college football has been huge. NHL just opened last night. NBA's about to start. So we've got to capitalize on this moment. It's a critical time. For us, though, this year is also a key inflection point for Flutter and FanDuel, where we should be profitable for the full year, which I think it's a real inflection point because we will be the first U.S. operator to be profitable. And I think there's a lot of investors for many years that were asking the question of whether this was a sustainable, long-term, profitable business. So to be at that point is, should be a real milestone. But we're also looking ahead, right? Not just to 24, but beyond. And as I think about what's up next, we've got to continue to open the map, right? On the one hand, we've got 45% of the U.S. population where you can bet legally for sports betting. But you still have more than half the market, right? In the 3 biggest states, California, Florida, and Texas are not online. So map expansion is a huge priority. Strengthening whatever every competitive moat we have in sports betting, and continuing the momentum that we have in iGaming is really important. And then, a lot of the things that we've talked about around continuing to invest in our talent, right? At the end of the day, if we can't win the war for talent, it's really hard to keep reinventing ourselves and redefining ourselves. And then I think on the final front is, responsible gaming, areas where we can come together and collaborate as an industry. We talked a lot about cybersecurity over the last couple of days. Those areas, I still think there's a huge opportunity to collaborate, right? We compete on a lot of things, but there's areas like those two, for instance, where I think we can come together in a way that's in the best interest of consumers and ultimately the industry.
Well, Amy, congratulations on everything you've achieved so far, but best of luck for everything that's to come, because as you say, it's not easy. There's still plenty to do. But thank you very much for your time and this interview as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.